Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder Express.
Yay and choo-choo!
Yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Wissman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us this week again for another insane edition of Small Town Murder Express. As you know, 10 pounds of murder in a 2-pound bag is the way we like to put it. It's some wild stuff, and we have a crazy episode for you this week that it's one of those where when we do the disclaimer in the regular show, we talk about, we'll make fun of a bumbling police force that lets somebody.
Sure, yeah.
This is the perfect example of that, of just a complete and utter screw up. We'll get to that and more. First, though, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Get your tickets for live shows. They are all there laid out for you here. If you are listening right when this comes out, still time to get your Denver tickets. That would be Saturday, May 2nd. So get in there and get those. And then Royal Oak, Michigan has some tickets left. Very few tickets, actually. On May 30th, Buffalo is already sold out. And then in September, we are Milwaukee, Minneapolis. Then from there, Dallas, San Jose, Sacramento, Tarrytown, Boston. So get your tickets right now. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Do that. Listen to our other shows, of course. Listen to Crime and Sports, which you don't have to like sports. That's the thing. It's just a crazy story. We just did a guy who murdered his girlfriend and fed her to dogs. I mean, you don't have to like sports for that at all. So check that out as well. Check out Your Stupid Opinions, which is just hilarious. Just an hour of comedy. Very, very funny stuff.
It's a fun way to pitch a show to a stranger.
Yeah.
What do you do? I make a podcast. What's it about? Oh, a soccer player that fed his girlfriend to dogs. Want to listen?
That's just 1 week, though. Yeah, we got... There's 500 more. Then get yourself Patreon. Yeah. That's what you need. Patreon.com/crimeinsports is where you get all of the bonus material. Anybody $5 a month or above, you're going to get everything we put out. Everything. I'm talking everything, including as soon as you subscribe, hundreds of back bonus episodes you've never heard before, almost 400 of them, I believe, at this point here. Right. And then every other week you get even more, one crime and sports, one small town murder, and you get all of it.
All of it.
All of it. This week is no different for crime and sports this week. It's personal ads time again.
Unbelievable.
Let's find out how people used to find people. It's pretty funny. Just perusing through the newspaper going, I'll give this one a call.
Let's make me feel unwanted, too.
That's all the height requirements. And then for Small Town Murder, we are going to do, you know what? I'm going to let you guys decide. We'll do another vote on the page there. Either Internet Salad, which is always fun, talking about things from around the internet, or that new FLDS documentary that is out, the 4-parter there. That's a wild
flip
one.
Of the coin there.
It's so much fun. Either way, we'll do the next one the next time. So it's not a big deal, but whichever one you guys want first, we'll do a vote on that. So check that out. That is patreon.com/crimeinsports. Plus, you get a shout out at the end of the regular show. Jimmy will mispronounce your name, even though he'd love to get it correct. Yep. And then on top of that, you get everything we put out. Crime and Sports, Your Stupid Opinion, Small Town Murder, all ad-free with your Patreon as well. You can't beat it, everybody. It's the best deal going. That said, I think it's time, everybody, to sit back. What do you say here? Let's all clear the lungs. What do we say? Arms to the sky, and let's all shout. Shut up and give me murder. Let's do this, everybody.
All right.
Let's go on a trip, shall we?
Yeah.
Let us do it. We're going to Maine this week. Which
Lovely place.
We love Maine. Yeah. Maine is great stuff here. We're going to Fayette, Maine. Fayette, Fayette, Maine. It's in southern Maine.
It's just Fayette.
Yeah, just Fayette. It's in southern Maine. It's near Augusta, kind of, which is capital up there.
To the west?
It's west of Augusta.
Yeah.
Inland from Augusta. It's about an hour 15 to Portland. About 3 hours to Boston, so it puts it out of the commutable time, so the prices go way down.
But weekendable.
Yeah, that's the thing. And about an hour 20 to Carmel, Maine, or Carmel, I can't remember which one it was, which was our
Carmel.
Our last Maine episode 653, the surprising serial killer, which was about a surprising serial killer. It's not pretty self-explanatory.
Surprise.
This is in Kennebec County. Area code 207. Population here, it's a small place, 1,274.
I love it.
It's a cool little town. This place just, reeks of Stephen King. Like it's,
fuck yeah.
It's just, there had to be a story put here.
Probably.
Had to be. Median household income here, a little below the national average, actually. It's $54,375, which is about $15,000 under.
Doesn't pay well. Yeah.
No, it doesn't. And then median home cost here, though, isn't too much less than the national average, $300,000.
Oh, boy.
So that's a little bit high for that money, but
yeah.
It's, so there it is. A little bit of history of this town. Mm-hmm. It was first settled as either Sterling or Starling. There's different things.
Those mean two different things. Probably starling, because there's probably the starling bird up there, right?
Well, there was the Starling Plantation that was up there in 1779 on 7,000 acres. So I think that's part of where it started from. So we're not sure. But Fayette was named for the Marquis de Lafayette, the French nobleman who offered his services to the Americans during the Revolution.
That's where Fayette comes from.
He said, fuck England is what I don't care. Well, you guys, you don't even have like a government. That's fine. Fuck England because it's France and they hate England and England hates France. And that's just the way it works. They have they have like a friendly, like a Yankees Red Sox rivalry. They're very close. They're right now. They're just across the channel from each other. They're both been around forever and they just, like to snipe at each other.
Stand on the shore and tell them to go fuck themselves.
That's it. Hey, fuck you. We got a lot of ponds and lakes in this town, like a ton. And right around here, there's 9 of them that are pretty big.
There's a shitload of water up there.
Tons. There's a 1,610-acre pond. 1,610-acre pond. There's an 1,185-acre lake. So I don't know what the difference between a lake and a pond is. If a pond can be bigger than a fucking lake, I don't understand it at all. That's what I always thought, right? Yeah. You thought there's a town, then there's a city,
and then there's a state,
pond,
and then
there's a lake, there's a creek, and then there's a stream and a creek and a river, and a pond and a lake and an ocean. Like that's what I always thought. Apparently not. Only one review of this town that I could find. Oh. It's pretty quiet here, it's a 3-star review, and I said it's pretty quiet here, and they concur. Quote, quiet is the first. They got it. They nailed it.
They spelled it right, though, too, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah.
Quiet, not quite like we see so often. Has a general store, 15 minutes from groceries, coffee, and restaurants. So they don't have anything really in this town proper. Has a private school and private summer camps.
Okay.
For whatever that's worth. Now, things to do here. Okay. This is so funny. It sounds like it's like the title, how like Borat's thing is like, film for use of blah, blah, blah. He'll use different things. Yeah. That's what this sounds like. It's called Fayette Heritage Days, a practical celebration of community and nature in Maine.
Benefit Kazakhstan.
To benefit Kazakhstan. It's so funny. And a practical celebration. Look, we're not going to go crazy. Very practical, real.
Yeah, very practical.
Close to the chest. They say they open their arms to locals and visitors alike for Fayette Heritage Days, a festival that stitches together the rugged spirit of outdoor adventure with the genuine celebration of small town life.
That is Maine.
You just described living in Maine. For the families, festival's children's activities include deer watching.
Well, that should be the only thing you do with them. Yeah.
By the way, if you've ever had little kids, see how long that they will, go along with deer watching as an activity. They don't. That's not going to. Let's be about 2 seconds. Oh wow!
How long before they go? Can I ride it or touch it?
Yeah. Now what do they do? Do they do anything? No, they're just going to eat and stand there. Okay, that's it. Are they going to take a sleigh up in the air? What are we looking at here? Also, watching and storytelling by local elders. Nothing kids like more than hearing stories from old farts. That's what they love.
Tell me about when you had a leather strap around your books.
While they stare at a deer, nuzzling a pile of corn. That's what... Oh, my God.
Shit that it doesn't eat.
What the
Just
fuck?
Pushing food around.
Oh, my God. And then it says, for seasoned adventurers, the surrounding lakes beg for kayaking and fishing. They're asking for it.
You betcha.
They're asking for it. That's the problem, yeah. While dirt roads and hidden paths challenge the eye to find new perspectives. Okay, there we go. So that said, let's talk about a murder, everybody. What do you say here? This is
it's an idyllic place, it sounds.
It's a very idyllic place, and what happens here is awful. So it's a...
Oh, boy.
It ruined this town for a while. I mean, these people were... It turned it from a don't lock your doors.
Yeah.
Anyone who comes over is a neighbor and a friend to, who's there?
Go away.
Get away from the window. Like, it turned into that shit. Like, it's really fast. So you just hear, you knock on the door and you hear a shotgun rack for a while anyway.
If my Ring doorbell alerts one more time, I'm letting loose with both these barrels.
I'm right through the door. I'm not even opening it. I'll get a new door. So let's start on January 6th, 1983. This is when this town kind of has a little broken piece here.
New year, new us.
New year, post-holidays. It's cold up in Maine.
Yeah.
Snowing.
January
snow on the
6th
ground.
is a punishing day.
Oh, yeah. It's southern Maine, so it's not that bad. It's when you get northern Maine, that's when it's real bad. This is
pretty bad.
It's like the temperatures here are like 3 degrees colder than where I am. It's not that bad, yeah. Until you get north of like Bangor, then it gets fucking cold.
That's when it gets ugly?
Then you're in trouble, yeah. That's when you're in some deep shit over there.
I watched that seawall in Portsmouth. The waves coming over. The waves were freezing.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it. I love that.
Shooting ice at the cars.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. So on January 6th, 1983, it's 11 p.m., okay? Theodore D. Flagg. Flagg is with 2 G's, by the way. He goes by Ted. Ted D. Flagg. Teddy Flagg over here.
Teddy Flagg?
The old Teddy Flagg.
Amazing.
He returns from work at about 11 p.m. He worked a double shift at the James River paper mill in Chisholm.
Oh, boy.
That's a brutal day. And
what do you do with the paper mill? Does that you're turning trees into paper.
I'm not sure. At this point, that's kind of where a lot of the guys still worked in town, was at the mills, basically. Right. And he's a young guy here. He's about 25 years old, and he's got a young wife and a young baby that he's trying to support. And so he's taking whatever shifts he can. He's doing double shifts here. Now, he says he worked a double shift at the James River paper mill, and then he came in through the cellar door as usual, which is a big East Coast thing. To come in
As
through
not
the
to
cellar.
wake anybody?
As not to wake anybody, and if you come from a dirty job, it's to change.
Oh, okay.
They have the Pittsburgh toilet. Look that up.
Right. Yeah.
And we've talked about it before, where it's and they have like a drain in the floor where you can wash the soot off of you if you worked in a mine, basically. So he comes through the cellar door, and he sees that all the lights were off except for the light from the stereo when he gets upstairs. So you could, that faint 83
glow.
That 83 stereo light, you don't see much.
Oh, you know what that is? That's the backlight of the turn dial where the little needle's there.
That, and maybe the radio station bar, that kind of lights up usually too.
But not digital. It's just a light that glows.
It just glows so you can see it, but it's just all the band of radio stations across. Yeah,
with that little red line that goes through that you turn. I
remember my dad's stereo had
Nostalgia.
one just like that. And if it was on, that's what would glow, that and behind the thing.
Fuck yeah.
So he sees that. He turns the lights on at the top of the cellar stairs, and he sees his wife, Judith here, who is, young too. This is crazy. She is 23 years old.
Yeah.
Sees her lying on the floor in the living room, and she looks dead. And she's got the telephone clutched in her hand next to her, and their 1-year-old baby, Chad, is also there, so he's freaking out. Chad is laying on top of her chest.
Okay.
He's got blood all over him, as does she.
Jesus. Yeah.
But Chad looks fine. He's alert and he pops up. He seems fine. He's just covered in blood.
Yeah. Looks terrible. Yeah.
Looks bad. Now he sees that Judith's face is bruised and there's a blood stain on her chest, and the telephone's kind of beneath her body where she was holding it. And she has been stabbed multiple times in the chest.
Lock that baby up.
It's horrible. Yeah, this baby is aggressive.
He is dangerous.
He's a dangerous young man. So the baby has blood on his clothes. Yeah. And so Ted picks up the baby and goes down back down the cellar stairs, he said, to get away from that scene, and picks up the phone and calls relatives.
What?
Doesn't call the police, he calls relatives. So...
Unless they're the police.
Unless you got a relative who's a homicide detective, I don't know what the hell you're doing here. So
and
he calls,
and an ambulance driver.
Yeah. So she's well beyond an ambulance at this point. No. I mean, the blood's dried already. It's bad. So somebody, we're talking dozens of people come over, tons of people, like his whole family comes over to support him.
No.
Somebody in this mix called the police, luckily.
Okay.
Someone said, hey, did anyone call the cops at all? We should probably do that. And someone called the cops.
I see there's all of us here and no red and blues.
And I guess that would be a confusing scene to walk into. Mm-hmm. To walk in and find your wife dead and your baby covered in blood, and you go downstairs, you call your mom or somebody, oh my God, what the fuck's going on? I don't know if your brain would work right at that point, but not sure.
It's also a small town thing where towns tend to, they're so knit together. They're like, I need help. I call my family.
That's possible.
Only us big city folk are like, get the police here fast.
Well, yeah, they can probably get there faster than the cops too if it's a
that's
more
probably
rural
true
place.
Too. Yeah.
So Judith dies of multiple stab wounds to the back and chest. Now, the police tentatively set her time of death at about 11 a.m., 12 hours earlier.
Oh.
Now, he's been gone 16 hours, but 12 hours earlier. Also, she has defensive wounds on her hands, her fingers, and her left wrist.
Okay.
And we find out she's also been raped orally, we'll say.
Oh, Jesus.
As well. So,
and this poor baby's been there for 12 hours with a dead mom.
Crawling around in the blood, basically, and just decided to crawl up on his mom and go to sleep. I mean, just doesn't know. I mean, it's a 1-year-old, so has no idea. Now, obviously, first question, where was Ted?
Yeah.
We want to know where Ted is. But the problem is they find out Ted was at the local paper mill the entire double shift. Everybody saw him. He punched in, he punched out. There's no... Yeah. I mean, his machine would have just been running without him if he wasn't there. Yeah. So he had to be there. So he's definitely not the guy. Immediately, they clear Ted as a suspect. So that's good here. They know that Judith is a stay-at-home mom. She stayed at home with their 13-month-old son, Chad, all day. Yeah. And let's find out a little more about Judith here. She's born Judith L. Dion, D-I-O-N. And that's January 3rd, 1960. So she just had her 23rd birthday 3 days ago. Very young. Parents are Pauline and Alex Dion, and she's got siblings Doreen and David as well here. She's been in the area of Fayette her whole life. She's a local girl. She went to Jay High School in the area, graduated in 78. She was into, she had a bunch of athletic stuff she was doing. She was on the field hockey team, the ski team. She was a cheerleader. Oh. So she's very active and stuff.
Everything.
In her yearbook, she said she wanted to work in the data processing field in the future.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Data, I guess, not data entry, data process. I'm not sure. In 1983, data processing means something much different than it means now.
It's the tech industry of today.
Yeah. In 78, when she graduated, that probably sounded like high-tech shit. Like, the data processing industry.
She wanted a 10-key calculator is what she wanted.
Yeah. She married Ted Flagg about a year after she graduated from high school. So and he's from the area, too. It's a small town... small town love and get married early and they have a baby and he's working double shifts at the mill. It's a Bruce Springsteen song. It's
beautiful.
It's crazy. She was also associated at one point with the Spruce Mountain Ski School and also coached skiing and water skiing for a number of years as well in her teen years. So she's athletic.
Yeah, freeze it. I'll ski on it.
Yeah.
I'll ski on it.
I'll ski on it no matter what. She's very athletic and she's not a meek little thing. She can do things and she's kind of strong too. So Capable. I mean, like a small framed and not a big person, but athletic and kind of spunky, we'll say. So July 7th, 1979 is when she married Ted. And like I said, Ted is also from the Fayette area. And they met and fell in love when they were teenagers. They've been going out for a few years, and they get married here. They have a son, Chad Alex, right after that. When they get married, she gets pregnant. They have a son. I mean, they're doing, yeah. John Cougar Mellencamp is taking notes. Yeah. He's like, what are you guys doing over there? Okay, all right. Well, if I just put that on a farm, I got something. Just take that story and move it to Indiana. I really got something here. Really now, 1980, they buy a new home. This is the home that they live in when she is killed. Right now. Okay, it is on Watson Heights Road, and they bought it from the estate of a man named Thomas Mitchell who had recently died.
Got it.
He's an older guy. They bought the house for $48,000, according to property records. I mean, that's 1980.
It's expensive.
That's a decent priced house, like a pretty, not expensive, exorbitant, but not a cheap house.
High middle class. That's
in
good.
A small town. Yeah, that's not bad. At this point, Judith is she's a housewife and a mother. She's raising the baby. The baby's a year old. So, I mean, she's been raising this infant for the last year, and he's been working double shifts, and that's how they've been doing it. So what was the day like on January 6, 1983? They're trying to piece together what happened here. They know Ted came home at 11. They talked to him. He said he saw Chad huddled against his mother's body. He said, I quote, I came into the house and found my little boy curled up on my wife, cuddling her. He'd been crying and he looked like he'd been asleep. So he's probably starving too. He said he was covered in blood. He had nothing to eat all day. The fire was out. The house was getting cold.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, this is horrible. He said, I turned on the light and he came running to me, jibber-jabbering, and just dug his little fingernails into me, hugging and squeezing. Hey, he's probably been terrified all day. Poor kid. Yeah. He doesn't know what's going on. God, that poor kid. He said when he found his wife, quote, she was cold, rigor mortis had set in, and her body was stiff. God. So Ted's also pretty smart if he knows those things investigation, discovery, and all this shit being on all the time. If you knew that in 1983, you're reasonable intelligence and you know things.
Well, or you've lived in the woods where safety or where emergency services aren't necessarily rendered fast, and you've probably seen a dead body.
No, I just meant he knows the word rigor mortis.
That's what I mean. He's probably
she got stiff.
Yeah, my point is he probably saw a dead body when he was younger, and they were like, "Oh, rigor's already set in." What's that now?
Yeah. But I mean, there are a lot of dumb people that wouldn't know that in 1980. They'd know that now. Back then, I don't know how much the term rigor was thrown around casually in conversation. Now it is, but it's not.
And they probably didn't say it rigor like all casual. Like they probably said rigor mortis.
Exactly. Yeah. So for someone, a layman, to know that who's like 25 years old and works at a paper mill, he must read a book or two or see something, see a movie. So, he said that, the lights were off. The baby was crying, came to him. Somebody called he called his relatives. Somebody called the cops. Now, when the police arrived, there were footprints in the snow leading to the kitchen door that they found. To the kitchen door from outside. So that's a good thing. None of the relatives went that way.
Okay.
And Ted didn't go that way. So those are
Ted went through the basement, right?
Those are something to look at here. Mm-hmm. And blood stains on the floor in the baby's room. So they're like, okay, this didn't just happen here. Yeah. This had to go in multiple rooms. So they made casts of the footprints in the snow. And they took photos and all of that. They removed and bagged all the clothing. They bagged the child's clothing. They placed the bags over her hands and, did the whole crime scene thing. So they did all that correct, which you might go, who cares? That's crime scene stuff. But in 1983, in a town which at the time had about 600 people in it, you're not guaranteed to get a half-decent crime scene. We've done shows like this where the mayor comes over and mayor comes over, brings the kids. They're like dropping Cheerios on the floor. Like it's insanity. So
the game warden's showing up counting elk pelts.
Yeah. How many elk pelts you got in here? There's a body. That's the problem.
But I'm about to find somebody.
Well, I'm about to hold on. Let me get my find book out. So the deputy chief medical examiner performed the autopsy, took a blood sample of the fingernails and swabs of all orifices on Judith here. He put everything in separate containers and gave them to the Maine State Police Crime Laboratory. All right. So that's how they did all of the crime scene. Sure. Now, what did Judith do that day? She spoke to a lot of people, so we can get a timeline.
That's good. She's social.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, she's got talks with her family a lot too. About 10:30 a.m., she spoke with her sister on the phone. She told her sister that a man had called earlier that morning asking for Ted. And he said Judith said she told him, this man, that her husband was working and wouldn't be home till 11 p.m. So she just told the stranger that I'm all alone in the house till 11 p.m. I'll even be here after dark. Don't worry.
Yeah.
For quite a long time.
Several hours after dark, because it gets dark at 4 here right now.
Oh, yeah. January, that is 3:50. It is dark outside in Maine. So she said that man didn't leave his name and that he just said he was an old friend of Ted's and he wanted to surprise him. So don't tell him I called, basically. During the phone conversation with her sister, she put down the phone because somebody was at the door. Judith does. When Judith gets back on the phone, she tells her sister that her husband's friend was there and that she'll call her back. I'll call you back. The guy who called earlier, he's here now. Why would you know what I mean? Why would you want to talk to this guy? I already told you he's not here.
Right.
He works at the mill. Go down there. Yeah. Maybe you can catch him at lunch or something. So
maybe he thought 11 o'clock is just in a few minutes. I'll just beat him there.
Yeah, she said 11 tonight, though. Okay. Anyway, she didn't call back, and her sister got busy signals every time she tried to call back that day. Her sister kept trying to call her back. About 10:45 a.m., Judith called her brother. Yeah. She said that a man who claimed to be a friend of her husband's was at the house complaining of car trouble. And her brother's a mechanic. That's why she called him. Can you come over and help this guy get the fuck out of my driveway, essentially? So,
this guy from me.
Yeah, he offered to come over and help, but the man said, never mind, I'll stop somewhere in Fayette. So Judith's brother didn't go over to the house. I was like, all right, well, never mind then. About noon, a male person here was on her route carrying, driving uphill toward the house with the mail, and the road is slippery because it had been snowing all day long. So the day of the murder, it's a big snow day. She saw an oncoming car here on. She saw a car crest the hill and swerve into a ditch, and then back onto the road so that it almost struck her car. But then the driver got her shit together and ended up driving past her, which if you've seen snowy environments, that happens all the time. You'll see cars do a slip out, do that, whoop, whoop, correct, and then get their shit together and go.
And you get a good giggle.
Yeah, but she noticed the car because it did that. And she said the car had a maroon body and a tan top. She said that the driver was a clean-shaven male in his early 20s with light brown hair, wearing a tan coat, a gray wool scarf, and no glasses.
She got a good look.
Real specific look. And that's because when you're driving, and especially on a back road like this, not a highway, and it's been snowing, you're driving 7 miles an hour.
And you see somebody do something dumb, and you go, who did that piece of shit?
Yeah, look at this fucking idiot. But you don't even think that in the snow when someone slides. You're just like, oh, shit, don't slide into me. And once they get past you, you're like, okay, I'm safe. That's good. So she saw the cars, everything, and the guy in it. She said the driver looked straight ahead without making eye contact with her. But she certainly was doing there. She was definitely looking at him. Now, between 2 and 3 p.m., Judith's brother-in-law, so Ted's brother, I believe, or Judith's sister's husband, I'm not sure. Right. Somebody comes over to the house to install a new starter in a truck that they have at the house. Oh. A lot of mechanical work going. In the snow, you're going to put a new starter in?
Well, if we need that truck, we need that truck.
We need it. So Judith's car was in the driveway, but he said she didn't come to the window when her brother-in-law drove in, and he assumed that she didn't hear him arrive or maybe went out with relatives or something. Okay. So he said he installed the starter and left after being at the house for 45 minutes to an hour.
Attaboy.
So that's good. And right away the cops are like, okay, so you were at the house during the day. We're going to have a chat with you then. Right. But it all lines up. He was only gone for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And the car had a new starter in it. So
that's an hour job.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah, he would have been real fast if he could go in there, murder her, then change a starter and go back to work. That would be pretty impressive, I got to say. That's a really thoughtful murder. Good news and bad news. Good news, that thing runs like a top. Bad news, had to kill your wife as a payment. Sorry.
That 75 Chevy's running like a top.
Yeah, it's running like a top. So they set the time of death at about 11 a.m. Basically, there's blood and there's other blood and there's some hair and stuff like that. But this is 1983, so that really doesn't mean that much.
Doesn't do much, yeah.
Blood is blood type, essentially, which means, if you have a common blood type, okay, you and half the population could have been there.
Yeah, there's very little you can learn from the blood apart from direction, how long it's been,
what color it is.
It's the right color.
Yeah, that's about it.
Is it dry or wet?
That helps too, for the length of everything. They did find sperm in her mouth as well, which is maybe the grossest sentence I've ever said on this show.
I hate that you did.
There's no other way to put it.
It's too.
I really
substance and its location. That's all.
I have to say some terrible shit on this show that I don't want to say, and people, please know that I'm not taking in joy in saying they found sperm in her mouth. I think that's the most horrible thing I could think of. That's just bad. That's the last place you want to find that after this happens. That's no good.
There's not a word, scientific or otherwise, that is not vile.
That's it. I can't. That's what they found. So they asked Ted, does Ted have any idea who or why this could possibly happen?
Yeah.
Are you guys, in a fight with somebody? Are you anything? And Ted said, quote, I have no idea why. We had no enemies. I'm easygoing. She's easygoing. She couldn't kill a fly or a spider. I've never even stepped on anybody's toes. Like, we're just
all right.
Take it as it comes, easygoing, small town people. Nobody should want to kill us. There's no reason for it.
Trying to raise a kid.
Trying to raise a baby here.
Yeah.
Now, the day after the murder, the mail carrier was again delivering mail on her regular route and saw the police were at the Flagg's home, and she stopped to tell the officers what she had seen the day before. The guy with the maroon car, tan top. Now, she worked with a detective to develop a composite picture of the driver she saw in the two-tone car. Because, it's just a guy on the road, but they have nothing else. So this will help maybe. The mail carrier was never able to identify a particular individual as the driver and could not identify a specific car. So she turns out to be kind of useless, sort of. But
maroon cars with tan tops back then were so common.
Yeah, but there's some specific things about this car that we'll talk about.
That make it less common.
That kind of at least give you an idea of, okay, here's a guy who had a car like that. It doesn't mean he did anything, but at least kind of takes him in a direction that we're going to go in here. So that same day, the state police enter the investigation. They don't trust. The small town police force is not set up to do a giant investigation. They're just not. They don't have the resources, the officers. They don't have it. So they need the state police. So the state police moved in and set up a command post. And the commander of the state police criminal division said, what we get from the public is generally the most important information. And they said they don't want to be more than a local telephone call away.
Right.
They said they don't want to someone have to make a long distance call.
Yeah,
they said if some people have to pay more than 10 cents, they won't call. Wow. Meaning at a payphone.
Yeah.
They tell you to put an extra dime in. You're like, listen, I'm not doing an LD here. This is crazy. Not happening. So they did that. Now the town is fucking freaked, as we said earlier. The town it's wild. Here is the owner of the Fayette Country Store.
Yep.
She's got her finger on the pulse of the town here, Jean Hewitt. She said, everybody's scared to death. All the women that are home, you're bound to be when something like this happens. And then another woman here who was there at the time and lived there, said what ensued with the town was remarkable. By a year later, nobody was a stay-at-home mom. Everyone had jobs outside the house.
Really?
It scared these people into the workforce. Just they didn't want to sit in there. Now, at the same time, the economy was terrible at that time too, so they might have needed to get jobs, but people apparently didn't want to be home alone all day.
Right.
Based on this. So they check out some leads here. And they say that they did a door-to-door investigation in the area. Okay. Just basically the whole town. They went door to door. You know anything? Mm-hmm. They don't really have much on it, though. They also have some evidence problems. This is the problem when you have 50 people come to a crime scene. They said the home was sealed for a week and a 12-man command center operated in the Fayette area for about a month to track down leads. The investigation began in the home and expanded to the neighborhood, but the people who visited the Flag home complicated the investigation and may have cost police a lot of information. One officer here estimates that 50 people trod through the Flag house before police even got there.
What?
Before they even got there, 50 people were in the house. No one said, hey.
Yeah. That's
outside we'll hang
unbelievable.
out. They said potential evidence may have been destroyed, trampled. Other evidence might have now something we think is evidence is not evidence, really.
Yeah. Somebody could have picked up a knife and been like, ew, this is gross. Wash it.
Yeah. They said there were bloody fingerprints all over the house. We had to fingerprint everybody who responded that night.
Oh.
They said there were so many people walking around outside, it would really help us a lot if they stayed away. And I don't know if this is, in this case, if they destroyed any evidence or not. So we have no idea. And this is a problem here. Now, Ted, to the media, he said that they asked Ted, just how are you doing? And he said that he would like to thank God that whoever stabbed his wife repeatedly had not harmed his child, at least. So at least there's that. That's a pretty grim thanking God.
Yeah.
Wow. So they have a whole command post set up here, and they're asking, their questions are, did you see anything unusual? Any strange vehicles, strange faces? What did you know about the victim? What else do you know? And if everyone said, I don't know, then they moved on.
Oh, boy.
That's how they did it. They said they have a lot of tips coming over the phone and into the door. And, but he said they've talked to more than 150 people in the first week. But they said much of what they heard is just unattributed rumors. It's small town rumors.
Nothing.
They don't know shit. No,
they got nothing.
Nothing of substance. They said, we need to find out how these rumors start. A rumor might contain information only the perpetrator and the police would know. When the police find out who started it, they may have the killer right there.
Right.
So that's an interesting thing here, but they might not. That's the other thing. Might have just heard something at the old general store. I mean, who the hell knows here? They said a lot of people think the investigation stops. It doesn't. It continues to and through the first day of trial. We're always looking for additional evidence. They said oftentimes people decide who had withheld information may talk to us now that the cat's out of the bag. Okay. So yeah, and they say too, there's some of these tips just don't really help. And by the way, the confidence in whether they can solve this or not is a little bit low, because there is a whole article here from early 1984 about the stats of how much they solve, and it is not confidence inducing at all. Very bad. They said during 1983, 24 murders occurred in Maine, while 21 murder cases and including one from the prior year were cleared for a clearance rate of 87.5%. Not bad. I'd like to see how many people were convicted, actually, but clearance rate has to do with arrest. You can arrest somebody, release them the next day. That's still a cleared case.
Wow.
That's how the stats work. That's why they do that a lot, by the way, because they go by clearance rate. Forcible rapes, they get at 79.8%, and aggravated assaults at 80.2%. Motor vehicle thefts all the way down at 39%, and burglaries 26.2%.
Wow.
And this is kind of a break-in thing, so they're not good at solving based on evidence, it seems like.
What if you combine all of them together, except for that car theft one?
That's a good...
You know what I mean? That's what this is. This is bad.
During 1982, though, I have that. During 1982, the national crime clearance rate stood at, take a guess.
Nationally?
National crime clearance rate.
85?
20.1%.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Unless you're a moron, you could pretty much get away with things.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, the crime rate was 5 times higher than it is now. Not 5, but it's way higher than it was now.
And clearance, sub 30.
And that doesn't even mean convicted. Like I said, that means you could have arrested someone, let them go because you don't have information, you don't have enough evidence, and that's still a clearance. Which is pretty wild here. Now, 1984. Not a lot of suspects. A year has gone by, but they have a suspect.
Okay.
They have one that they were kind of interested in. Thomas H. Mitchell Jr., born 1957. He's the guy, remember, does that name sound familiar?
Thomas Mitchell. No.
Thomas Mitchell Sr. is his dead father whose estate sold the house to the Flags.
Right.
He's Thomas Mitchell Jr. And apparently, when his dad died, the house was left to his stepmother, and he was fucking furious about that. He thought it should have went to him.
God.
So Judith and her husband purchased the house from the stepmother. Soon thereafter, Thomas Mitchell arranged with the Flags to collect personal items that he had left behind in the home, because it was his dad's house.
Yeah.
The first time Mitchell came to the house to get his shit, nobody was home. So he left a note basically saying, thanks for nothing. I drove all the way here for nothing. What the fuck? You're not even here.
Yeah.
After getting the note, Ted, rather than have a confrontation about it, just gathered up all his shit and took it to the realtor who did the house.
Who sold the house, yeah.
There you go. You be the middleman. And then in 1981, Thomas Mitchell came to Flagg's home again. And when Ted answered the door, Flag was standing there. When Ted told Thomas Mitchell that the items he wanted were at the realtor, he said he looked like he was pissed, and he was like, all right, fine, and he left. Which, that's not really he must be the murderer type of thing, you know what I mean? But he's somebody that might be mad at them. That's literally all they had.
That's all we have at this point. Everybody else loves them.
That's it. Now, the same thing, though, on January 6th, 1983, a South Portland police detective saw Thomas Mitchell, whom he knew personally, at about 7 a.m. driving a two-tone 73 Ford Thunderbird in Portland, headed north on the I-295. Portland's about 70 miles south of Fayette by car. And said he was heading that direction, but he's 70 miles away. Just because you're headed north, he could have been going to Montreal, you know what I mean?
It's an hour and a half away.
Who knows? Now, a little bit on his background, which made him a little bit more interesting to the police. While on furlough from the Maine State Prison for a 1978 kidnapping conviction, here we'll talk about, he got furloughed there. He was released from prison in 1980, December. In 1979, that's why his shit was still there. He couldn't get it when they moved out because he was in prison.
In jail. Yeah.
In 79, he was convicted of kidnapping a 16-year-old girl in Portland.
For what?
Oh, for what do you think? He served 4 years in prison. The jury did not convict him on a related rape charge somehow. Okay. But he kidnapped her, but for no reason, apparently. In 1981, he was indicted and found innocent on charges of gross sexual misconduct and threatening with a dangerous weapon.
What's his deal?
I don't know. And the county sheriff's department investigators said they found a list of women's names and addresses in his possession when he was arrested, but they didn't give any other details.
He was going to do it a lot?
That was apparently his thing here. He had like a Rex Uerman file going on in his computer or something. So there's a search warrant obtained to seize a pair of shoes of his from his South Portland residence to compare them to the casts of the snow footprints. They also obtained a sample of his blood and noted his possession of a car that was olive green with a tan roof and maroon primer paint on the driver's door. So that's what the postal worker would have seen. So he has a car like that.
Maroon primer ain't a thing. That's an old door from a different car.
Yeah, I don't know why that's what it says in the court document, but I understand.
But the door is just maroon, though.
The door is maroon,
Wow.
So they interview his aunt, who he lives with, Eleanor Foley. And she says that she has a handwritten account of his activities on the date of the murder. My aunt likes to keep track of... Imagine your aunt keeping track of your activities when you're 27 years old and keeping it written all down and everything.
Moreover, imagine calling the cops and saying, I have a handwritten description of everything that happened. They're going to go, so the fuck what?
Yeah, big deal. What does that mean? So they also ask him about it, and he refers investigators to his daily diary, which ran from 1982 to June 85. By the way, later on, we'll talk about what happens to him in June 85. What the hell? I'll give it away now. In June 85, he's charged with raping and attempting to murder a woman in Cumberland County. So
So it stops there because he doesn't have the book anymore because he's in jail?
Well, that's when he stopped writing. Yeah, they wouldn't let him take it in there.
Right.
He said he kept meticulous track of his movements at the request of his family members who believed police were harassing and hassling him. So they said, keep meticulous notes of where you are. Like writing it down means you were there. It doesn't mean shit. So his diary for the day is, and this is his Aunt Eleanor, who made his diary entries because apparently he doesn't write too well. She detailed.
He's got a stenographer.
Yeah, she detailed. He told his aunt that he got out of bed at 8:15. She's his biographer. She's going to note everything. Showered and got coffee before going to town with his aunt. They stopped at Bentley's for breakfast, then went to Headhunters for a haircut while she ran an errand. At 11:45 a.m., he met up with his aunt, exchanged a shirt he got for Christmas, and had a snack when he got home at 12:30. He said he went to a friend's house, returned home at 2 p.m., napped until 4:30 p.m. This guy's got quite the fucking life. I would love to live this guy's life. Ate supper, then went to another friend's home and got home at about 11:45 p.m. And,
midnight.
Midnight. Had a snack and went to bed.
Good
Quite
Lord.
the day. So there's nothing they can do to poke any holes in this. He's has his time accounted for better than most people do when you ask him, where were you a year and a half ago? He goes, I'll tell you exactly where I am.
Yeah. We do also have it in pencil.
True. But that was in the Adnan Syed case. That was one of the big things that they thought was a big smoking gun is he couldn't remember where he was. Because who the fuck, a random Tuesday a year ago, where were you, Jimmy? Who the hell knows? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Tuesday, shit.
But you have a diary, they can't say anything. So February 84, the reward's up to $4,300, which doesn't seem like a lot. Seems like there should probably be more.
Yeah.
One of the guy leading the investigation says, we're confident it won't go unsolved. If it takes another 6 months or whatever, we're determined to solve it.
Okay.
We are going to solve it. He said that they were working it real hard, but then the police, quote, got clobbered with a series of murders and sex crimes that demanded their immediate attention. People are just raping all over the place. We got to tend to it.
Interesting choice of words.
Yep.
I'm real clobbered with all this rape
just
and murder.
Clobbered by it. Tell you what. I mean, I'm just like penetrated by it. You know what I mean? If that makes sense to you.
Gobsmacked.
Yeah. So June 20th, 1985, remember Thomas Mitchell. This is when he's convicted of kidnapping and attempting to murder a 17-year-old girl in Standish.
Wow.
Yes, that is horrifying. He is sentenced to, you, sir, may fuck off, 35 years in prison for that. So
that's a long,
he's put away for a while. So if they ever consider him a suspect,
we've got him.
You know where he is. He was arraigned on charges of kidnapping, rape, and attempted murder. He was arrested about 9 p.m. at his home. A teenager who was found walking in Standish Monday afternoon after suffering from a severe neck wound named him as her assailant.
Oh, God.
Wow. Now they go back to the press goes back to the flag investigation cops and they go, hey, are you going to go talk to him again? And the one cop said there's no plans to interview Mitchell. They said that they've talked to him. They said, and they wouldn't call, they go, is his arrest a break in the case? And they said, not at all. They said, we interviewed him about a year ago. His name came up because his father owned the residence where the flags lived. That was the only connection to it. That was it. They said that, he was a suspect. They said he was going there to get some furniture that had been left by his father, and that's why he was at the house 2 years earlier. But other than that,
it's not just like a trophy from Little League. This is big ticket items.
Yeah, he had like some furniture and shit. Yeah. So 1995, November 1995, there's a new suspect. 12 years have gone by. We have a new suspect. We have Lloyd Frank Millett, LLT. He admitted to multiple murders.
Oh, really?
Yes, admitted to it. So now the cops are looking at 6 unsolved homicide or missing person cases over the last 12 years to see if either have a tangible link to him. So they're looking into that. He's the son of a truck driver. He grew up in the area, sort of in the area here. He had a falling out with his mother as a teenager and got kicked out of his house and became a carny.
Nice. I'm
saying guilty right away. He's a carny, whatever you accuse him of.
And a multiple murderer.
And a multiple murderer, yeah. Where is that? A multiple murderer. What is that? Oh, it's a Frasier episode. Never mind. Okay. He lived around Fayette in his mid-20s and became a friend of Ted and Judith Flagg when he lived near their home.
Oh.
So he knows them. So they said that Millett was a pallbearer at the funeral of Judith. Yeah. So they said, what are the odds in a small town like this that your wife
did it carried her?
That no, that there's another murderer who happened to be friends with her, but he didn't murder her. He just carried the gun.
Right.
What are the fucking odds of that? You know what I mean?
Was he already a murderer prior to that? Did that kick him over the edge, carrying a body like that?
That's what they're trying to figure out. He's had tons of problems in the courts. He was arrested in 4 years between 87 and 91. He was arrested at least 14 times.
Wow.
Was convicted of rape, assault, mischief, drunk driving, writing bad checks. He's a Renaissance man, really.
Yeah. Does it all.
The former district attorney called him, quote, a frequent flyer.
You bet.
That's the guy here. A former boss said he was gentle with farm animals, though he was once convicted for cruelty to his dog.
Oh.
After the murder is when he left this area and drifted from town to town working as a logger and a farmhand.
Shit.
Then he got married in 87. He got arrested a whole bunch of times. He was also, I guess, the one of the people he's accused of killing was a 17-year-old girl that lived right by them. So that's not great. He threatened to blow his wife's head off. She divorced him, and she said she regretted that she divorced him because he became a constant pain in the ass. So that's their main suspect in 95. 1996, Maine State's crime lab finally begins possessing the technology and training to test DNA specimens.
That's great.
96, okay. 2003, so 96 to 2003, nothing happened. 7 years of nothing.
7 years, they did nothing.
Millett does not turn out to be the guy they think, too. They think he had an alibi that day.
Yeah.
So there's a total new investigation. Police detective Jason Richards is assigned to take over the case. Basically, fresh eyes. Look this over, see what we did wrong, fix it.
See what we missed, yeah.
Because now it's 20 years later, so all the people that were in charge that don't want to be embarrassed aren't in charge anymore. So now it's go back and tell us what we did wrong 25 years ago. Yeah. So he does that. The footprint cast, they have... he gets them out of evidence. They still have them, but they were broken. A crime lab technician specializing in imprint evidence put them back together piece by piece, like a puzzle. Wow. She said the prints allowed her to tell the size, tread design, and manufacturer's mold used to make the shoes worn by whoever made the footprints.
Nice.
Okay. Now, of all the stuff they have, they say, the lab person says they have matched the shoes to Thomas Mitchell's shoes that were taken in 1984.
Is that right?
Yes, they said they matched these shoes. Okay. Then they do DNA tests. The swab taken from the mouth that detect the presence of sperm cells. They tested both Judith and Chad's clothing. The sleeve of Chad's clothing also contains traces of semen. There was semen on a baby. I don't think we've ever had an episode where there's semen on a baby, but there's semen on a baby, and I'm grossed out by that.
That is so bad.
The crime lab ran tests on the specimens. This is a procedure which screens out X chromosome genetic material, which typically exists in females, and a YSTR test can exclude individuals, but it can't match samples to people. Now, the tests excluded 13-year-old Chad. He didn't rape his mother orally, 13-month-old Chad. A one-year-old is not the source of the semen. We can scientifically say that.
Shocking.
Okay. Now, they tested it to Mitchell's, and they said the result was that Thomas Mitchell could not be excluded as the source of the male DNA. So then you go from there and you do a more,
in-depth one, yeah.
We go down the funnel here, and they said that they detected 2 matches here when they did the next test, the PCR test, and one was Judith Flagg and the other DNA is Thomas Mitchell. Yep. They said the chance that a random person could have left the sample would have been about 300 billion to 1. However, in this case, the random match probability was estimated at 69 quadrillion to 1.
Uh-oh.
There's billion, and then there's trillion, and then there's quadrillion. So that's a lot.
That means they've got almost all of his alleles.
Yeah, there hasn't been 69 quadrillion people who've lived on the earth since the earth has been a thing. Like, there hasn't been. September 8th, 2006, they indict him on murder charges, Thomas Mitchell. Now, pre-trial stuff, there's some fun stuff here. He tries to suppress all the forensic evidence on the grounds that it would violate his Sixth Amendment confrontation rights because the guy who performed the autopsy 26 years ago is retired to Canada, and he lives up in the middle of nowhere, and he's old, and he says, I'm not coming here for a trial. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to the States. I'm not doing it. So he said, well, you should have to throw out all the physical evidence then, which, no, that didn't work. Then he has an alternate suspect, and part of the pretrial thing is whether he's allowed to introduce an alternate suspect.
Mitchell does?
Mitchell does, and it's not bad, I got to tell you.
Convincing?
He offers proof that included the following facts regarding a male neighbor of the victim, who I believe is probably Millet. Okay? They don't say. He wore a size 10 shoe, same size shoe as Mitchell. The neighbor lived down the street. A woman who knew the neighbor was prepared to testify that he owned a pair of shoes similar to the shoes obtained from Mitchell's residence and that the sole design may have resembled the design of the soles on those shoes. Because this is a common shoe. It's not like Richard Ramirez and the Avia where they had one pair of black Avias sold in the entire Western United States. Yeah. That's a different story. This is kind of a...
This is a Wolverine. It's a Shields shoe that fucking the Northeast wears. They have like 7 types of shoes. Everybody has the same ones.
Snowshoes and shoes you wear in the rain. Yeah. She also saw the neighbor wearing the shoes only once on a date near the murder. The neighbor had a beige jacket with a wool collar and sometimes wore a scarf. Remember, the postal worker saw that. A woman saw the neighbor in a suede camel-colored coat that she never saw again after the murder. A woman had been beaten up by the neighbor in the past, and this woman thought he was very violent. The neighbor owned a 2-tone green automobile. The neighbor met Judith at a store where he once worked and said she was, quote, nothing but a slut.
What?
So a young married mother with a baby. It's just a huge, just catting all around town. It's ridiculous.
Bizarre choice of words.
Right? Then Judith saw a man, Thomas, the husband, Ted, he saw a man working on his car outside her window 2 days before the murder and told a guest who was visiting her that the man was a friend of her husband's who lived down the road. The neighbor's alibi that he was at the unemployment office and at a restaurant didn't check out. The neighbor went to the restaurant after an employee was interviewed by the police and said, you saw me here that day, didn't you? Okay. After the murder, the neighbor was nervous and fidgety. He frequently spoke about the murder. The neighbor was having trouble with his car around the time of the murder, and some damage to the front of the car was observed 5 days after the murder. The mail carrier who observed a car driven into the ditch that morning did not testify to having observed whether the car was damaged in any way, though. The neighbor's features were similar to those depicted in the composite drawing. The mail carrier also stated when viewing a photograph of the neighbor, number 7 seems to have an unusually mean look. I would like to see him in a lineup with a camel coat. Oh. I'd like to see him in that. You know what? I'd like to see him in a nice pair of brown loafers. Why don't you put those on him? What the fuck?
I'd like to see him in black lace. Can you do that to him?
I'd like to see how he looks in a little negligee. Just a little black lacy number. What do you think? Put it on him. The neighbor had a fight with
some underwire.
Yeah. The neighbor had a fight with a girlfriend who was Judith's best friend, and Judith took her friend's side in the dispute. And by the way, in the 2006 report, the latent fingerprint examiner was not able to rule out the neighbor as a source of certain fingerprints.
Oh, no.
After considering this, the judge excludes all of this. Not allowed.
Wow.
Not allowed. It's just confusing, they say. Mm-hmm. Now, June 2009 is the trial. It is moved to Franklin County.
Okay.
Because of publicity, obviously. There's a sergeant here who testified about seeing the olive green 73 Thunderbird with the tan top, chrome grille, maroon primer along one side, operated by Mitchell, heading north out of Portland that morning. The mail carrier, they bring her in there, and they're talking about that, talking about the Thunderbird, maroon Thunderbird with a tan top and chrome grill. The prosecutor says that she, the description matches Mitchell's appearance. Mitchell was not unknown to the Flaggs. He had come over before. He'd been kind of pissy, a little bit upset. But being a little annoyed 2 years earlier is tough to say motive.
It's pretty well fair game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just he knew where a woman was in the house alone, basically, is what it was. So they said at that point, despite the Maine State Police detectives' early interest in Thomas Mitchell, which culminated in a search of his home, the case went cold in '84. And the prosecutor said at that point, the investigation into the death of Judy Flagg basically stopped. They said the evidence will show that Judith Flagg fought for her life and her baby's life, which she did because she had defensive wounds on her. She was fighting. And she's a field hockey chick. She's going to fight.
She's capable. Yeah.
She's capable. If you give her a little stick, you're fucked. She'd beat your ass with that thing probably. Now, the defense here, they gave the opening statement. They said there's no dispute to the timeline of the murder. However, the evidence used by the state, they said it's been stored for decades. And this was taken prior to modern-day evidentiary procedures. So who knows what they did with it? They could have stuck it up their ass, twirled it around, brought it out. We don't know. He said there's no eyewitnesses to this crime. Because of that, the state's case is entirely made up of circumstantial evidence. Oh, and DNA, stupid. That's the other thing.
Well, there is that, but also conjecture.
A lot of conjecture. He pointed out that there's as many as 15 people had been inside and outside the Flagg residence before the police had arrived. The police said 50. I don't know if somebody misheard 15 for 50 or what, but as Ted Flagg called his family first, they said the footprints were broken. They were reconstructed. They're not perfect.
Right.
The fingerprints taken inside the home, none of them were ever proven to come from Mitchell, and they say some to this day are unidentified. Could be anybody. So they said his client, who intended to testify, had stayed at his father's home years earlier in the baby's room where police would later determine a struggle had occurred. Now, they say Mitchell suffered an injury which resulted in him bleeding profusely years earlier in that room. So that's where his blood came from. He said, "You heard me say earlier that justice delayed is justice denied." He said, and that's true when one considers what the Flagg family's gone through. But Mr. Mitchell has been inconvenienced by this delay. Poor guy's he's been in prison since 1985.
The guy's having a tough go.
That's the thing. When they indicted him, by the way, he was 5 days from being released from prison. They're like, nope.
Oh, my God.
Nope, asshole, you're back. And he was in there for 20 years. And he was 5 days from being released. They said Mr. Mitchell has been inconvenienced. The people he was living with, his mother and aunt, are now deceased. And they said, so they can't testify for him and tell you where he was. They say 3 pubic hairs were found on the outside of her clothing. Those hairs, examined at a microscopic level in '83, were determined not to have come from either of the Flaggs. However, they were also to be shown to be incompatible with Mitchell. Well, let's run some DNA on those and we'll find out. What do you say?
Give that a run, yeah.
So he testifies.
Really?
He does. He does it. He took the stand. He said, I was nowhere near Fayette that morning. Didn't happen. Spent the day with my aunt. In South Portland. They said, well, how'd your blood get in there? He said he injured himself and bled on the carpet in the house when his father owned it. He said that his father had cleaned the blood stain with bleach.
I was there for a very long time before. My DNA's all over that house.
It's all over. Now, problem is Ted and the realtor who listed the house, who looks it over meticulously, said that there was no stain or bleach mark on the carpet when the Flaggs bought the house. So that didn't happen. Mitchell's stepmother testified that she had no recollection of him injuring himself in the house when she owned it also. In closing, the prosecutor said, that man, this defendant, him, committed a crime so horrible that it must be every woman's nightmare. Yeah, I would say being alone in your house with your baby and having somebody come in and rape and murder you, that's a nightmare. Yeah.
And leaving my corpse for my kid to jungle gym on.
To crawl on. That's nice. He said that Judith Flagg fought for her life as she was stabbed in the chest, stomach, and back. And he said now, more than 26 years later, the evidence speaks for Judy and Chad Flagg. Through the application of modern DNA technology, the evidence speaks for them and it speaks to you. Okay. The defense, totally different thing. They said, quote, in this case, the long search for truth has simply been subordinated by the pressure to solve this cold case. Now, as 20 years go by, there's less pressure actually to solve the cold case. That's the thing.
Yeah.
There was a lot of pressure in 1983
At the
and 4.
beginning. Yeah.
There's not. So this is just they found evidence that matched.
There's a box in a room somewhere. That's the case. Yeah.
They said that the state failed to identify or investigate Tom's alibi, and they said that his aunt could have been interviewed in 1983 about his alibi, which she was. They said, but she can't testify because she's dead. She died in like 2000, I think.
Oh, no.
So this goes to the jury. And this is 2009, the trial takes place. So people are
6 years later.
And they're well aware of DNA by now. This isn't this isn't like the OJ jury where he was kind of new or whatever. This is a, you know.
They expect it.
They know it. They've seen CSI's been on for 10 fucking years. So they get it. An hour and a half of deliberations, and they find him guilty of intentional and knowing murder.
Wow.
After the verdict, 24 relatives of the Flaggs, when the prosecutor walked out, they gave him like a standing ovation in the courtroom for doing it. Outside the court, Judith Flagg's mother, Pauline, said the community is safe again. So that's good. That's nice. And they said they were thankful to the investigators. They, quote, never let this go, which even according to the prosecutor, they stopped investigating it in 1984.
They let it go wild,
They're being very nice, we'll put it that way. This is a very nice group of people, this family. They're trying to be polite. They also said that they were told long ago that Mitchell was a suspect. They said, Mr. Mitchell's been in jail for a number of years, so we know where he's been. Now he's facing much more. This is not so much closure for us. If he were out of jail, it would happen again. During sentencing, they bring up that this is the third time he's been convicted of attacking a woman. And
bad stuff.
And he's been acquitted and, charges dropped before. So this is not good. And with all that being said, judge says, you, sir, may fuck off. Life without parole. Eat dicks. Dick eating lines that way, asshole.
No mas freedom.
No mas. You're here forever. Bet in 85, you never thought you were never getting out, but here we are.
Got him.
Fuck off. In 2010, he appeals based on the alternate suspect. Should the alternate suspect have been excluded? That's a big deal. It's a lot of Rule 701 shit that I don't have time to get into that, but I'd love to get into that because I love legal shit like that. It's very interesting. But anyway, there is a dissenting opinion in it that says that they should have allowed in the alternate suspect evidence. Basically, what the main fucking thrust of this is, hey, you could have allowed in all the alternate suspects you want. None of their fucking DNA was in there, and his was.
Yeah.
His sperm was on a 1-year-old sleeve.
That's a problem.
Explain that, asshole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a big problem.
Did you leave a sperm vat behind when you moved out too? I bled on the carpet once. Oh, and that's my sperm vat in the garage also. It's about 12 gallons I keep here.
It stays spreadable.
It stays very, I keep a lid on it, so it stays, how it goes there. So that's how that goes. That appeal is denied, though. 2018, he appeals again, lost a bid to start a process that could have gotten him a new trial based on errors in the FBI data used for DNA calculations. So he's saying it's not actually 1 in 69 quadrillion. The calculations were off.
Okay.
But the DNA still matches you. It's just... Maybe it's 1 in 20 billion instead of 1 in 69 quadrillion.
Much less imposing number. Yeah.
And they say, nah, you're good. Fuck off.
Hang in there.
So he's still in prison. He's a bad guy, and he's still there. So there you go, everybody. That is Fayette, Maine, and just a goddamn mess of a case.
Does he still have appeals left? Is he still trying?
From what I saw, the last one I saw was 2018.
Maybe I don't know if he's content now.
I don't know if he's loading up for another one or if he has nothing to appeal on anymore. I'm not sure what it is, but he's going through the motions here. So
wow,
crazy fucking story, and a lot of credit, by the way, to the family there, the Flaggs, and the Dions and all those people. They were, they were patient, and then they weren't even shitty about it. They were like, they never stopped working hard rather than going, we're all lucky this happened because you guys have dropped the fucking ball completely.
Yeah.
We
ran through the crime scene a lot, so we apologize for that.
That's us, but we didn't know. We hadn't seen CSI yet. We didn't know.
Yeah.
So there you go, everybody. If you like that show or like any of the shows we put out, do us a favor. Head to whatever app you are listening on or Netflix or anything and give 5 stars or thumbs up or whatever the fuck it is, wherever it is. It helps a lot. We don't know why. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com where you get tickets for live shows.
Tickets.
Tons of merchandise there as well. Everything from skateboards to coffee cups. But get your tickets for, if you're listening to this, in the first 36 hours it comes out or so, you can still get tickets to Denver, May 2nd, Saturday night. Yeah. Get in there and get those tickets. Or head over to Royal Oak, Michigan on May 30th, where there's a few tickets left for that, but that one is going fast. So get in there and do that because it's almost gone. Buffalo's sold out. Then in September on the 18th in Milwaukee, 19th Minneapolis, then beyond in October and November, Dallas, San Jose, Sacramento, Terrytown, Boston. Get your asses in there. Come see a show.
Amazing. Yeah.
Come see us. Shutupandgivememurder.com is where you do that. Follow on social media. We are at Small Town Murder on Instagram, at Small Town Pod on Facebook. You certainly want Patreon. What are we doing here? Patreon.com/crimeinsports is where you get all the bonus material. Anybody just $5 a month or above, you get everything we put out. And I'm talking about, first of all, as soon as you subscribe, whole huge hundreds of episodes, deep back catalog of bonus stuff you've never heard before, almost 400 episodes. New ones every other week, including this week, 1 Crime in Sports, 1 Small Town Murder. And how much do they get?
You get it all.
You get it all. And it is a goddamn value, I'll tell you. Other people have raised their stuff. We say, hell no, $5. This week, what you're going to get for Crime in Sports, we're going to talk about do personal ads. These are newspaper personal ads from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s of people looking for love, and it's hilarious what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Then for Small Town Murder, it's up to you. It's your choice. Yeah. It's either going to be Internet Salad, where we just go around the internet and find all the crazy stuff that's going on, or that new FLDS documentary. The name is escaping me, but it's the new one. We're going to put the vote up there on social media or Patreon or somewhere. False Prophet. There you go. So there's that. You pick. Let us know. Either way, the next one will be the one not chosen. So enjoy that. Patreon.com/crimeinsports. And you get a shout out at the end of the regular show. And you get every damn show we put out ad-free as well with that. So we think it's the best we can do for you. So sign up for that. If you want to follow us on social media, you can do that very easily. Shutupandgivememurder.com, which is completely redesigned, by the way. So check that out. All new. And get in there, get some merch and tickets, and come hang out with us. And follow us and have all sorts of fun with all that shit. And keep coming back next week either way. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.